Hello friends, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today I am bringing you the latest information about the newest characters introduced to the game. Now, this information is being launched today. We are getting 4 new characters, more or less. Really, we're getting 2 characters and 2 ships. Now this is the information that, links back to when we saw that little post that said, an old foe is returning, an Unmasked or something like that. And that old foe is none other than Kylo Ren. But it is Kylo Ren Unmasked, and he is not coming alone. He is coming with a First Order Special Forces TIE pilot with their accompanying ships. So the First Order Special Forces TIE ship and the TIE silencer that we see in the the intro to the trailer for the new movie. Now, I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be interesting. Finally, we are getting some dark side love. Now, as a staunch supporter of the light side, all things Jedi, all things Republic, Resistance, huge fan, I can admit when the dark side needs love. Now, this could be an attempt to build towards Episode 8. That's clearly what it's going to be, I think. But I think it's a little more than that, too. I think that we're also going to be getting more and more of some dark side love, because right now we are pretty much unbalanced, light versus dark side. Now, to me, that makes sense because the light side will always win out, especially now that Disney is in charge. They are kid-friendly after all. But we do, for the sake of the game, we do need some dark side love, and this hopefully is the first of many new additions to the game. Now, looking at Kylo Ren, it starts off saying that Kylo Ren is a tough First Order tank with a powerful stun. Now, first thing that I noticed based off of this information, based off of these kits, we are going to see a First Order that is faster and that is going to be able to control turn meter a lot more. Now, his first ability, Aggressive Strike, deals physical damage to target enemy and inflicts tenacity down for 2 turns. If the target was already debuffed and it is Kylo's turn, he gains taunt for 1 turn. So it seems like Kylo won't be able to gain taunt if he's attacking out of turn, but you have that ability to give him more speed. You have the ability to give him more more turns with Phasma. You have the ability to give him more turns with a few other characters. So I think that it'll be interesting to see how quickly and how well he does. His second ability, his first special, is Halt, and the text reads, dispel all buffs on target enemy and stun for 2 turns. Kylo recovers 10% health and gains taunt for 1 turn. This attack can't be evaded or resisted. Now, we're getting a lot of those lately, an ability not being able to be evaded or resisted. I think that's pretty cool. I'm curious to know how effective this stun is going to be. I like it. I like that we're going to be able to get something like that. And I'm liking that Kylo can gain taunt so often. So far, 2 of his abilities give him taunt. So you're going to probably want him to be really full of health and really full of protection, right? Get those things up as much as possible. Then his special forces, his second special, Focused Rage, says deal physical damage to target enemy and recover health equal to the damage dealt. If the target is stunned, deal double damage. So that's pretty sweet. And this seems very similar to his other ability, the Outrage, I think it was called, or something to that extent. But instead of being able to, gain protection back, you're getting health back. So I think that's kind of cool, especially in light of the Night Sister rework, which takes off a bunch of health. He does have a leader ability. Now, this is his Zated leader ability. This will need to be Zated. It is First Order allies have 40% chance critical damage and 30% speed when a first order ally scores a critical hit, which they almost all do. They gain 20% turn meter. When a first order ally gains a status effect, which they do often, they recover 5% health and 5% protection. That is pretty sweet, especially considering what we're going to look at in the first order Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot or TIE pilot kit. But keeping in mind all those other kits that are out there with the Phasma, with First Order Officer, First Order Stormtrooper, they get advantage a lot, and so it's going to be interesting that they're going to keep getting health. They're going to keep getting protection under this lead. That's a pretty good ability, right? That's a pretty good power, especially if you consider that some of the people, some of the characters on the First Order do hit more than once at a time, right? They have some AoEs or they attack multiple times. I think that's going to be pretty sweet. Now his final ability, his unique, is called Scarred. It is Zeta ability, or it is able to be Zated. When Kylo takes damage, he recovers 8% health, and a random first order ally who doesn't have it gains advantage for 2 turns. Kylo has a 50% counter chance doubled when he has taunt. Kylo takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects and gains taunt for 1 turn at the start of each encounter. So Kylo is going to be taunting like a beast. I love that. I think that's going to be awesome. What I like about this Kylo is that, one, turn meter is going to be something that's going to be really effective under him. I'm curious to know if this Kylo is going to be as effective in like the Rancor or the heroic raids as some of the others. Now, looking at the First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot Kit, again, we have his first attack is it says he's a subversive First Order attacker who buffs allies and debuffs or disrupts enemies. His basic attack is called Reciprocation, and it deals physical damage to target enemy and inflicts defense down for 2 turns. Then, if the target has defense down, gain advantage for 2 turns. Now, under a Kylo Ren lead, that is going to be pretty effective because recover 5% health and 5% protection, right? Pretty sweet. Moving on, his second ability, Drumfire, is an AoE effect. It deals special damage to all enemies and inflict defense down for 2 turns on each critically hit enemy. First Order allies gain speed up for 2 turns, right? So here we are. We have another speed up. We have defense down. They're going to be hit and hit hard if they are given, if they may be getting advantage from Kylo's ability. If they score a critical hit, they will be getting turn meter, and if they hit 5 times, they're going to probably be attacking again, depending on what their speed looks like. We don't have a full-on list of what their skills and stats look like yet. That'll probably come out tomorrow, or the next day. Who knows? Deal special damage to target enemy and call target other ally to assist. If the target ally is First Order, they gain advantage for 2 turns and stun the target enemy for 1 turn. Now, it's very similar to what we know of the First Order Officer. That ability, it's essentially calling that ally to assist. It is going to be a powerful, powerful hit. That ability is called Oppressive Burst. Now, from what it looks like, this character does not have any Zetas, which is kind of a nice change, right? Not every character needs a Zeta. Not every character needs to be the most powerful ever, and I kind of like that this one's not. It's going to be fast and it's going to hit hard. I'm curious to know how effective it's going to be at staying alive, how survivable it is going to be. Is this character squishy? Does it matter if you're going to be attacking fast enough really even worry about that, but we shall see. Now moving on to the TIE Silencer. Now this is Kylo Ren's ship. Now this is, the crew member is obviously an unmasked Kylo Ren. So now we have 2 Kylo Ren ships in the game. It is a superior first order attacker that gains unlimited speed and deals massive damage. Now his basic attack is disruptive advanced, and it deals physical damage to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn if they have more than 50% turn meter. Otherwise, gain advantage for 2 turns. Now this is pretty sweet, and it's again one of those turn meter abilities where I think we're going to see this ship very, very useful in the ship battles, because turn meter sucks, and under a I think under a Thrawn lead, it's going to be very effective, right? Because Thrawn very much controls turn meter and is very powerful with that. Now, I'm curious to know how this is going to work with a few other ships. But moving on, special ability 1, Overwhelming Advantage. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and if TIE Silencer has advantage, which it will get advantage if, you know, it attacks a ship that didn't have 50% more turn meter, or over 50% turn meter, it deals 75% more damage. That's going to be a very powerful hit, especially if your character and your ship are both maxed out. If this attack defeats an enemy, gain 20% turn meter and foresight for 2 turns. That is pretty sweet. And then his final ability, the crew ability, Frenzied Rage. Each time TIE Silencer is damaged or damages a target locked enemy, it gains 10% speed and 10% offense, stacking until the end of the encounter or until it dies. That is going to be awesome. I mean, imagine what this is going to look like maxed out, super powerful, with a number of other ships next to it. I think this is a pretty sweet ship. Now, and I'll talk about this in a minute, I don't think this is going to be a free-to-play ship right off the bat. I think that we're going to have to work for this, and I'll talk about why I say that here in a moment. But let's look at the First Order TIE Fighter Pilot Kit, or the TIE Fighter Kit. It is a First Order Special Forces pilot, is the crew, obviously. Superior First Order attacker that has multiple offensive capabilities and inflicts multiple debuffs, which I think is needed. His first ability is LS 9.6 laser cannons, deals physical damage to target enemy. If this attack scores a critical hit, inflict target lock for 2 turns. This attack has a 10% critical chance. Now that's pretty awesome. Special ability number 1, double offensive. Deal physical damage to all enemies with a 35% chance to remove 20% turn meter. Target lock, so if the character had target lock on it, turn meter removal is doubled and can't be resisted. Holy crap. So you potentially can remove 40% turn meter. That is going to be a devastating blow and could very well mean the moment between victory and defeat for a ship battle or in a ship battle. His special ability 2, or his second special ability, concussion missile, deal special damage to target enemy, inflict ability block for 1 turn and gain 20% turn meter. Additionally, call a random ally to assist. If the ally is First Order, grant them advantage for 2 turns. This attack ignores protection. That is going to be very nice, because it's so frustrating to get a ship down to like 1 bar left and you know it's almost dead, and then the capital ship comes in and heals it and you're just like, ugh. So frustrating. But it happens, and it happens a lot, and it's nice to be able to ignore that protection. I like that. I like that about the Night Sisters. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. Now one of the cool things about this is it is set to go live in a Marquee event later this week. That is right, friends. It should be announced today, or hopefully it will be announced today, that this event will start on Thursday, September 9th. Now, from my experience as just a player of the game, most major events drop sometime around Thursday. I might be wrong, but I don't think that I am. Just my experience, it's like end of the week as we get new information, we get new events. That's when they launch the first time. Sometimes major events start on Monday, like we saw with territory battles, which was pretty sweet. I like the territory battles. But we are getting this as in a marquee event. And the way that I like to think of this at this event or this event series is it is going to be very similar in my mind to the event that gave us the Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon. That whole event, because it gave us their ship, it gave us those two characters. I think this is going to be akin to that. Now, what that means is we will probably be able to get not Gar Saxon. We will probably be able to get Kylo Ren and First Order TIE Pilot up, probably around I don't know, 2 or 3 stars, like we did with Gar Saxon, depending on the way they let the drops or the way they set up the actual event. But then I think what we'll actually see is their ships will go into packs and bundles in the store. You can buy them at your leisure or not, or you can wait a couple of months to farm. If this does happen like Gar Saxon and the Imperial Super Commando, I think it will follow the cadence of the release cadence as was outlined at the beginning of the summer. I know they haven't been super great about that or sticking to that, because so much has come out that hasn't warranted following that, right? The ghosts or the spirit and the zombies for the Night Sister faction, those aren't part of the release cadence. And so same with not Tebow, same with Wicked, right? His event isn't part of the release cadence, and so they lie outside of that. Now, I hope that that's the case. That means we will get these characters to be fully farmable sometime beginning of next year. So look forward to that, maybe beginning of January. Maybe as an early Christmas gift, they gave us something, but probably not. I wouldn't hold my breath on that. So I think what we'll see is we will get these 2 or 3 stars. Probably 3 stars, and if you buy a kit, probably for $10 or maybe even $20, or another kit, a bundle or a pack, then you'll get them to 4 stars, unless you want to farm and spend a lot of crystals on these characters, which I do think they're worth it, but only if you have a ton of extra crystals. I mean, if you're finishing first in ships and first in arena every day, then you're likely going to have some spending crystals. But if you're like the rest of us that are not finishing first in those 2 locations, my payout is right at the time that I sit down with my family to eat dinner, and I just don't have it in me to say, hey family, priorities. But with that, I do finish pretty high most of the time, at least in the top 50, and usually in the top 20 with ships. But like I said, I think they will be worthwhile. I think they will be valid. But like I said, I don't think they're going to go free to play for a couple of months. What I hope the introduction of these 2 characters and their respective ships means is that we are going to get a First Order capital ship piloted by none other than Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, that is not verified. That is complete speculation. I think that would be sweet. It looks like from the trailer that we are going to get a lot of information, or we are going to get a number of scenes that take place on the Supremacy, which is his capital ship. But I just don't know. I think that'd be cool, though, because right now we have a Rebel, we have a Republic, we have 2 Empire, right? It would be nice to have a 3rd faction, and then maybe even a 4th faction with Separatists, because let's face it, the Separatists have enough. Then we could also get a counterpoint with Grand Admiral Leia, or Admiral Leia, whatever her name is, General Leia, I guess, General Organa. But if not her, I don't know, did Raditz survive the Battle of Scarif? I don't think that he did. But even throw a tag on Admiral Akbar, give him a 2nd ship. Give us a 2nd Admiral Akbar. That would be pretty sweet. Or give us a brand new character, right? there are going to be a number of opportunities, a number of characters that we could potentially be getting from the movie or leading up to or even following the movie. I think probably we could expect maybe 1 or 2 characters from episode 8, maybe even 3 characters from episode 8 to come after the movie, after in late September, in late December, or even early January. So keep that in mind. Look for that. Look forward to that. This has been their kits. I will have footage with these kits sometime later this week. And with that, I will leave a link to that in the section below. And I'll probably just do a live stream because I don't know how much time I'll have before that. This should go live on Thursday, the 9th of November. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully we see more information about that. Hopefully this video doesn't get pulled by EA and CG. But I'm excited, guys. What do you think? Were you expecting a different character from the Unmasked comment that we saw earlier this fall? Do you still think we could get a different Unmasked character? I still think it's possible. I still think it's the potential is there for sure. But who knows? EA knows, CG knows, I don't. Now, with that being said, leave a comment in the section below, like, subscribe, share this video. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.